Welcome to today's collective reading. Today's general collective reading really called for a bit more elaboration into the two sides within the reading that were mirroring one another. So if you would like some additional insight, I would recommend watching that reading that was posted before this one. That being said, this reading is timeless. If you feel drawn to this through synchronicities, more than likely there's something here for you. All right, that being said, I'll just go right into the reading then. Okay. So first of all, this is a reading that is going to be for more of the individual who identifies as the predominant masculine or assertive energy within the dynamic. So this is seeking insight into the predominantly feminine or receptive energy. So first of all, where are their thoughts? What are they thinking? They are at somewhat of a crossroads, be that, between two different people, situations, paths. It could even be, do I stay here or do I go? Do I move? Do I stay? Do I take that job? Do I not take that job? Do I stay where I'm at? So however this particularly resonates with your unique situation, they are at a bit of a crossroads right now. In the assertive aspect of, where their thoughts are, they want to embrace the joy, the fun, the silly. But they don't want to lose their grounding either. They want to remain firmly aware of who they are. And if that's, deep, that's deep. But they want to focus on the fun. Receptive energy present within where their thoughts are, because they're a balance of both as well, just as you are. They have been cultivating abundance, and it's been divinely guided. Divinely guided. They've been co-creating this. If you don't necessarily see it, they are working very hard on this. And it may be a bit surprising, but it's part of why they're at the crossroads, is because they're very protective of this creation, of what they have been building. Kind of the overall with this is they're practicing caution. It's not so much about, do I choose A or B? It's more of all that goes into choosing A or B. So they're being very cautious about this because they're protective of what they care about, and they know that this decision will impact a lot. It is why they are really trying to focus on the fun, the positive, the good. It'd be so easy to go into just the negative, dark, gloom, but they are trying really hard to focus on the positive. So that's where their thoughts are. If you wanted to be supportive of them in this, try to be part of that fun. Help them cultivate that fun. Help them focus on that fun. Help them reinforce it, add to it, right? Help them co-create it. In the feelings, where the feminine receptive energy, they are going through some stuff. Again, they're covering things again in their past, and it could be, yeah, I know that happened, and yeah, I know that's how I felt, but it could be much deeper than that. There could be parts that they're processing that as an adult, or where they are now, they couldn't have the emotional intelligence to process it back in the past the way they are now. So they are challenging themselves to let that go by moving into it and focusing on it. They're aware of the past they don't want to take, and they want balance. So they are doing this. That's how they're feeling. So helping them with contributing a bit of fun, a bit of lighthearted, a bit of that positive reinforcement can really, really help them with what they're feeling, being in contrast, helping them to co-create what they're desiring, which is really to enjoy the sweetness of life, to enjoy your company without any of this from the past anymore. So they're bravely moving into removing that, releasing it, letting it go. And if they have not already done this, they are doing it right now. They are feeling this right now. They've already mastered it. But this can give you a bit of an insight. They know what they don't want. They know what they do want. And going through and releasing the past is just part of being able to move into the present. Their current actions, they know that you're what they want. There's no question. It's very obvious. Because I have the kisses and the love card coming out here. Kisses and love. And the assertive energy here is they're aware that this would be a very major change. They're aware that it's somewhat like both of your karma. Like I don't know how to say it. It feels right. It feels like it's time for a change. They're actively moving towards that within self. And they're receptive to doing that work so that they can be playful. They can step into the present, enjoy the present, and let go of the past. They are making those changes in the present because they desire this. They desire this closeness. They desire to create with you, to give and receive, and not have any of this stuff from the past be part of that mix. Okay. What they want to do is go with the flow, but go with the flow in a, like, knowing that it's a stable flow. They don't want to be like in a torrential floodwater kind of chaos. They want to do like whitewater rafting where, there's someone there, they're a guide, they understand how it moves. There's safety measures in place. Like, they want there to be structure to the flow. And they are mastering this. They are working on this. They're passionate about it. They know that where they're going is where they want to be. And they know that in embracing the change necessary to be able to juggle all of this uncertainty, to be okay with the chaos, and to find peace in the middle of it. Because change is always part of life. So to stress about something that will always be occurring seems like they have owned that middle point, that balancing point, where they can accept that chaos and find peace in the moment. There's a trust that's being established here between you two. It's almost as you become more and more aware of one another's worlds, that trust is being formed more and more, because there's a give and a take. It's equal. And with that equal, there is something unique created between the two of you because of that structured flow. It's beautiful. Your worlds aren't, quite completely meshed yet, so there's a lot left to mystery yet. And in the advice, this is more about you in particular. What you are contributing here is you're mirroring them to an extent. So you have some feelings of possibly being, not enough, or maybe when you miss them, you feel like they're not reinforcing that you are enough, that they could be busy with their world, their life. All of these things that they want to, that are in their thoughts, that are on their mind. All of these things that are, they're being very cautious about choosing where to go, when to go, because they have to consider all of that. To ground into that it's there's things going on that they don't necessarily, that you don't know about, and they have to do the same with you. So it's the consideration present, this feeling of not being enough. A lot of people, that is one of their wounds. You are not alone in this, and more than likely they would understand this completely, because they've carried this wound too. It's something that you seem to really carry close to your vest, something you don't share, something you don't let yourself be aware of necessarily. But know that when you take this chance here, because you're watching this because you care, they matter, and they are mirroring you, and you're mirroring them. So this is, advice that could be given to them just as much as to you. You're contributing your creation when you interact with them, when you give to this. You're contributing you and in all that you've created so far. And if you are sitting here listening to this reading because everything they've created and them is utterly fascinating to you, and somehow it complements you so beautifully that you're really intrigued, they feel the same way. It's not just wanting you and this and this, but not that and that. Like, it's the whole thing. You're the whole thing. You're all of it. Every bit of you is desired. So working on this concept of not being enough, every time you think it, every time you feel it, speak to yourself and say, I am enough. I'm enough for me. If I'm enough for me, I'm going to be enough for the person that I spend my time with, that I care about. And even if it feels a little bit empty at first, keep saying it, keep doing that, because you'll override that thought. You'll start to experience having that thought and the feeling paired with it less, because you're consciously choosing which thoughts you reinforce positively and which ones you reinforce in a negative way. Thus, they're less likely to be on your thought queue. And this mirroring of everything that they are, everything that you are, that you know about. Some people may have not liked some of these things about you in the past, and some people may have not liked these certain things about them in the past. But you find that like perfectly imperfect. Like it's a challenge that you don't see as a negative. You see it as a strength that they have instead of a weakness. And they are still carrying that voice of that person or persons that told them, that's why I'm rejecting you. But they don't know that you see that aspect of them is one of their strengths. Know that they think about you in the same way. That there are things that you tell yourself, have been, you know, positively or have been reinforced as negatives about you from others, they see those things about you as strengths. That's your advice. Think about things in the opposite, and be willing to kind of work on those thoughts and contradict those negative self-talk thoughts. If you continue along this path and you're aware of these dynamics, the most likely outcome with the guidance present here and what you know intuitively yourself is that you're beginning a new world, a new cycle. Like, I just had the Aladdin, a whole new world. Yeah, that just came through my head. So, yeah, it's something that, you know, if at any point you thought that this was done, it was over, never be resuscitated, nah, that's not true. There is so much potential here for so much beauty and growth and balance and harmony. These are things that you maybe have never even experienced, but how exciting is that? Choose to reframe it instead of anxiety, fight or flight. Choose to reframe it as excitement, because your body, it experiences the two very similarly. You could choose to frame it other than fear into excitement, anticipation. And this is going to be very strong. It's going to be, you're going to have, if you don't already, you will be discovering that you have a very firm foundation within one another that you both bring to the table. And even if things seem a little off by yourself, a little wonky here or there, the other has exactly what you need to be able to go, oh, that was the missing piece to the puzzle. Now it's perfectly sound. Thank you. You'll be creating that more and more the more you interact with one another. That firm foundation to where you don't have to tell yourself, I am not experiencing anxiety, I'm experiencing excitement. You want to do that self-talk. It will be automatic. It will just be. Joy, happiness, anticipation. This is what you're moving into. This is the most likely outcome. And that concludes today's reading for the masculine collective seeking insight into the feminine collective. Thank you. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste.